This is a fan-generated show. If you would like to support us, please go to jamieglazov.com, and also don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. All your support is greatly appreciated.
Good evening. Welcome to the Glazov Gang. Tonight, Unite America First Gathering for Justice in Dearborn, Michigan, April 21st. What an honor and a privilege to have with us this evening Will Johnson, the president and founder of Unite America First. Will, what an honor to have you on the show.
Thank you, sir. It's an honor to be with you.
Fantastic. Will, why don't we just begin? First of all, tell our audience about Unite America First.
Okay, Unite America First came about right after Donald J. Trump became president. And I started the group, Unite America, originally was the name, Unite America. But then I saw all of the division and how the left was trying to push all of these policies to help people outside of America, bringing people to America when we have issues here in America. So then at that point, I added the word first. So then, because at that point, that's when it became Unite America First, because we have to take care of America before we can decide we can take care of anyone else.
Will, Unite America, take care of Americans. This is sounding very white supremacist and racist.
Yeah, you know, a lot of people have said that, but then when they look at me, they don't understand how it is a black male saying Unite America First. And it has nothing to do with color. And before I was saying we had to do it to Unite America First, like I said, I want to unite America, and it had nothing to do with one's nationality, one's complexion, one's sexuality. If you were tall, if you were short, if you were ugly, if you were beautiful, you just had to be an American, love this country, and I wanted to unite America.
You know, it's just incredible if you use the analogy of even somebody living in a house and you say, you know, we're just going to bring in these 40 strange people from another country, especially where they, you know, practice Sharia law, and you have kids in the house, but don't worry about it. We're just going to put these 40 people in your house and you have to have them in your home for a few weeks. I mean, a lot of these leftists that throw these accusations around, I don't think one of them would even attempt something like that.
No, you know, a lot of these leftists live in gated communities, the ones that are screaming out, talking about how we need to bring all these people here. These people, when they bring them here, and knowing them, a lot of them, let me make something clear. A lot of people that want to come to America, they're not hateful, they're not violent. A lot of people want to come here because they know America is a great place. But there are a few that want to come here and be destructive. There are that want to come here and tear up and just break down the system that we are holding on to. Those people are what we're talking about. Not everybody's crazy. And like, we're going to Dearborn, Michigan on April 21st, and it's not to go there to have confrontation, to fight with people, to do any of that. It's to go there and to say, look, this is still America. You're welcome to walk with us when we're holding an American flag, to say, okay, you know what? I'm in America. I love this country, and I realize how great it is.
Absolutely. Well, Will, look, Annie, the producer of this show, is an immigrant. I'm an immigrant from Canada. And after Trump won, you know, there are all these leftists on MSNBC, CNN going, there's no immigrant that's safe. No immigrants are safe. And I was on the phone with Annie going, do you feel safe? Okay, I feel safe. Do you feel safe? I mean, this is just a joke. I've never felt unsafe in this country because I'm here legally. So what are these lies? This is really about illegal immigration, not immigration.
Oh, it is 100% about illegal immigration. See, what I've come to find out from speaking out and talking to a lot of people, that the liberal left, they're wanting to bring in illegals and give them automatically a legal citizenship so that they can vote. And the reason why they want to do that is because a lot of black people in this nation, in America, are jumping off this whole democratic virtual plantation. And they see that happening. So their objective here is to replace those people with votes. And if they can bring in 1.8 million people, that might help bring down, you know, to even the odds of losing the black people that they're losing, because a lot of black people are waking up to it.
Right. Well, Will, look, I don't even know what's allowed to be said anymore. If I can say that you're a black male or African American, every day it's changing what's politically correct or politically incorrect. But you're a black male. Tell us a little bit of your story of how a member of the black community in the United States did not end up being a leftist. Give us a little bit of your background. How come you're not following this rule that the left imposes on black people, that they're only allowed to think a certain way?
Well, you know, okay, so let me touch on the African American issue.
Okay.
Originally, Jesse Jackson heard someone that came from Africa and became American citizen. So when he found out about that, they actually put down an African American because he was from Africa. Jesse Jackson heard that, and during that time, he was making a lot of news. He was making, he was like supposed to be a public black figure. And he started using that term and it went viral. Majority of the people in this country have never even been to Africa. I've met some white people that are from Africa that became American citizens, and they're white and they are African Americans. So it has nothing to do with based on colors. That's the left that's pushing that. So I'm a black American. So you're completely correct there. I don't follow Jesse Jackson. Jesse Jackson has never been a leader of mine. But as far as me, I used to be a Democrat until I moved to the state of California. And when my eyes were opened up to the way the liberal left truly are, that's when I said I could no longer support something so hideous, so evil, so vile.
Will, what was one or two things that was a turning point for you when you decided you had to leave the left?
Well, one of the things is that, for example, Planned Parenthood kills over 3,000 babies a day. And majority of those babies are black babies. And the Democrat Party supports Planned Parenthood 100%. Another thing is the Democrat Party isn't 100% for homosexuality. They try to equate homosexual lifestyle with black people as if they are equal to one another. I can't wake up and walk outside and say, hey, I'm not black. There's no way I can hide that. But a person living a gay lifestyle, they can walk outside and they can hide that. There's nothing equal to that. And the Democratic Party has made that part of their policy.
Right. Will, you know, Annie Cyrus, who is fighting against Sharia and trying to stand up for the victims of...
Wonderful lady.
The best. So we're in agreement there. But fighting for the victims of, you know, forced mandatory marriage, forced veiling, victims of acid attacks, victims of female genital mutilation. I'm fighting also in terms of, you know, trying to free people under Islamic gender apartheid and Islamic, you know, totalitarianism, etc. We've been informed that we're white supremacists because of this. So what I'd like to ask you, I'm hearing that you're kind of for Trump. Are you by any chance a white supremacist?
You know, we were trying to, myself and 3 other people were trying to have a rally in San Francisco at Chrissy Field. Nancy Pelosi decided to come out and say that we were having a neo-Nazi white supremacist rally in San Francisco. And I'm thinking to myself, do I look like one of you? But anyone who supports the president of the United States of America, you are white supremacist. You are in support of white supremacy. When in actuality, the whole Democratic KKK party was the party of the KKK. They were the ones who started that. It's the Democratic Party that is in support of mutilating little girls.
Right.
They are the ones in support of bringing Sharia law to America. It is the Democratic Party that is against everything that humans should stand for.
Right, and thank you to Dinesh D'Souza for showing that background of the Democratic Party. We're not going to see him on CNN. Will, how come I haven't seen you on MSNBC or CNN? How come they're not inviting you? Oh, I forgot. Black people are only allowed to think a certain way, correct?
Exactly. They don't want you to say anything that they don't agree with. And once you start, when you start thinking for yourself, it becomes a major problem. You know, where I'm getting, I don't know about you, but ever since I started speaking out on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube. I've been getting censored like no tomorrow. I don't ever call for violence. I don't ever call people hateful names. I specifically talk about what the left is doing and what the mainstream media is doing to this country. That's my main objective, and that's what I talk about. But they are censoring me, not just me, but multiple people because of what I am saying. And people are waking up to it and they don't like it.
Absolutely. Will, you know, let me get my head around this. They call conservatives racist. They even call you racist. But if they're looking at a black man and telling him that he's supposed to think only a certain way, isn't that a little bit racist?
It is completely racist. I give you an example. I was commuting and I was reading the Veritas book. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, where they were doing the Veritas project, where they actually found out where Twitter was purposely blocking people if they used the word America, anything pro-Trump, anything pro-America. They were blocking people. They had undercover cameras. So anyways, I'm reading this book commuting, and this lady asked me, "What are you reading?" And I explained it to her, and she go, "Why are you reading that?" Assuming because I'm black that I shouldn't be reading it because I agree with what they're doing. She completely agreed with shutting down a conservative pro-Trump view on all social media.
Right. You know, we see with Shelby Steele, we see with Larry Elder, Candace Owens, so many of these brave black people that have left the Democratic plantation. And, you're one of them, Will. You've left. You've had the bravery. Man, do you get a lot of hatred. So these leftists that pretend that we're the haters and that we're the racists, could you just share with us just a few examples of what the left has called you for not thinking like them? But we're the racists. We're the fascists, right?
Right. Let me tell you. Let me give you a little bit. Let me go back a little bit further on that, because when I considered myself a Democrat, God, thank God I'm no longer that. But when I considered myself a Democrat, and I would have conversations with people that call themselves conservatives, call themselves right wing, call themselves Republicans. When I would get in confrontation with them online, nothing, no cursing, anything, but just having a discussion, debating, because I was a Democrat. Not one time did they call me a coon. Not one time did they call me Uncle Tom. Not one time did they call me all of these other colorful, hateful, racist names. It was not until I became a conservative that the left started coming at me with all of those hateful terms. Not then. That was only until then that's when it happened. It was completely insane. And it's still happening because I consider myself a conservative. It's crazy.
And Will, when that began to happen and when it happened, when each of us have felt that hatred from the left, in your personal experience, when you went to bed that night, just laying there thinking and they're calling you these names, what was something that you realized about the left during that time?
I came to realization that it is the left that is completely hateful. It's the left that do not like people thinking for themselves. It's the left that wants you to line up and do as they say. I mean, and it's not only happening to black people. Anybody white who don't line up, they're considered racist, whites, neo-Nazi supremacists. Anyone black that doesn't line up with them, they have lost their way. They're race traitors, everything else. And even if you're brown, Latino, or even like Annie, because you don't agree with them, yeah, you have completely lost your sense of who you are as how they think. But in actuality, once I became that and I laid down, everything became more clear. Right. Exactly what I'm fighting for.
Right. Well, let me ask you before, I want to obviously talk about the event coming up, but I'm so interested in your personal story and also your personal courage because, Will, I've spent a lot of time in my life around the black community, and I can tell you that I have certain black friends who they were very afraid and remain afraid because they will be very persecuted and abused if they don't like Obama and like Trump. I in my own life, even going to academia, there were people and are people till this day that are terrified to come out as conservatives in the academic setting, in many settings. In many of these spheres of the left, it is frightening to come out and be a conservative. And so I want to ask you, where did you get the courage? And have you lost a lot of friends? Did you have to leave certain portions of a community?
I didn't leave. I was rejected. I was removed. I was booted out. I was kicked to the curb. All of it. I've actually had friends that I've known for over 20 years to this day will not talk to me. They've actually blocked me on Facebook. They removed me from Twitter, blocked me on Twitter. I have family members that will not talk to me because of my stance, on my beliefs, on where I see this country is headed, and because of my support in Donald J. Trump. And I'm not the only one. There's multiple people who have the same story that talk about it.
No, absolutely. And by the way, I also wanted to say that I have black friends and know black people that did have the courage that you had. So they're all out there like you. But what I'm saying is, for many people in that community, and also just on the left, it is very scary because they will dehumanize you and excommunicate you. And a lot of people are just too afraid to have that happen to them.
No, you're absolutely right. And I've had multiple people say, you know what? I love what you're saying, Will, and I completely agree with what you're saying. I just can't say anything because I don't want the retaliation. You know, they're trying as much as possible to keep the peace.
Yeah.
For me, I can't sit by Ali by and not say anything.
Well, there you go. Thank you so much, because that you're part of that group of people on our planet that actually ends up rescuing people from slavery and from totalitarianism. So thank you for that courage, Will. But I wanted to hear a bit of your story, because it's hurtful to lose a large portion of one's social life and community and family, right?
Oh, it's very hurtful. You know, people are leaving. People are rejecting you simply because you voted for Donald J. Trump. Mm-hmm. Who does that? When does that happen? Now, when Obama became president, and a lot of people disagree with him, that was even heard of. People disagreed, but no one was like rejecting family members or friends simply because they didn't agree with Obama. And and here it is with Trump, and they are.
This is Lenin, this is Stalin, this is Che Guevara. You have to agree politically or you're not a human being. And Will, it's just so interesting that they call us the fascists and the racists, but I can tell just from talking to you that you will actually be friendly to a person that doesn't like Trump, but not vice versa, right?
Oh, absolutely. You know, I went to a meeting that was in Campbell, California. And it was a completely leftist, socialist, communist, liberal, progressive meeting, right? And I'm in there, and I don't have on any Trump paraphernalia, nothing. And I'm just sitting there, and people come up and they're talking to me. I'm extremely polite. How are you doing? My name is Will. Getting along. Afterwards, I went to the restroom and I changed my attire. I put my Trump shirt on the outside that I had on the inside. And I went back in the room and I just stood up against the wall. And for them, they couldn't register. How was it this black guy with dreadlocks is sitting there along the wall in this whole liberal progressive meeting with a Trump shirt on? This was last night. And I video taped everything. It's all on my Facebook page.
Yes, absolutely, Will. You are a brave man to do that. April 21st, Dearborn, Michigan. What's going on?
April 21st in Dearborn, Michigan, we are having a gathering for justice. And it's not to go to be violent towards anybody. It's to be completely peaceful. It's to show that Dearborn is still part of America. We have people from all over the country that's coming to Dearborn on April 21st to join us this year, 2018.
Okay, Dearborn, Michigan, April 21st. Everybody that's watching right now, this show, you better be there. Now, Will, for all of our audience members that are on the edge of their seats, they're so excited, they're inspired by you. How can they support you? Where do they find you?
You know, the best way is to go to uniteamericafirst.com. And that is uniteamericafirst.com. All one word.
uniteamericafirst.com. Big event coming up. Will, thank you for everything that you're doing. What words of wisdom would you leave us with?
All I can say is if good men do nothing, evil will win.
Amen. Will Johnson, what an honor and a privilege to have you on the show. Thank you so much for fighting on the front lines. Thank you for being such a courageous man and dissident.
Yes, thank you.
And viewers of the Glazov Gang, April 21st, Dearborn, Michigan, Unite America First. Be there and go to uniteamericafirst.com to find out everything that's going on and to support Will Johnson in his fight and battle for freedom and liberty. And we'll see you soon on the Glazov Gang. Good night.